That was awesome. I don't know what music I'm gonna put in the back of that. I know it was awesome. Welcome back. This is my new dude. This is my new co-host. Let's move on. Most disturbing mysteries solved by Reddit users. By Visual Venture. Shout out Visual Venture, man. He's a goat. I like watching his videos. Alright, let's check it out.
For a website with 1.6 billion visits, disturbing people is not something rare. But this case is worse than anything I've seen before.
They arrested a 37-year-old man from Roy. He faces charges.
Reddit users immediately started speculating as to what the odd scene depicts. So, is the map showing a murder?
Some criminal cases seemed unsolvable. There were no clues, witnesses, or suspects. Then people on Reddit started digging, and sometimes the truth was darker than anyone thought. These are the most disturbing mysteries solved by Reddit users. We'll begin with the less disturbing ones and work our way to the worst. Thank you guys for being here. Make sure you guys subscribe because it allows us to keep pushing forward, and I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. I'm Visual Venture, and you are awesome. The mystery of the evil farm. For years, gamers on Reddit searched for a missing game. Many people remembered playing it, but no one remembered its name. It became one of Reddit's biggest unsolved gaming mysteries. And
This is like... I was just talking about this earlier today. I swear it was chick with a C, fillet. Not C-H-I-C-K, fillet. Promise, dude. I cannot be crazy. It's literally that. I remember it being a thing, and now it's another thing. What is that called? Yeah, the Mandela effect. They're denying it. Big Chicken doesn't want this to get out, man. It's all a conspiracy. Big Chicken doesn't want you to know that they changed their name. And Big Chicken likes to squish you under their thumb like you're an ant. And I'm finally calling them out for their BS. I know this isn't real. It's all a conspiracy. It's all leading back. Maybe I'm crazy. Who knows?
one day the truth finally came out, and the answer shocked everyone. The mystery began on a subreddit called Tip of My Joystick. It's a place where people describe games they can't remember. Then other users help.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, man. I don't know about that name, dude. You gotta change that.
Them identify the game. In April 2016, a user named Sparta213 made a post. He said he was searching for a disturbing game set on a farm. In the game, the main character lived with his wife. One day, they got into a fight. Things escalated, and in a moment of anger, the main character ended his wife. That's when the real gameplay began. Players were supposed to hide the body.
But this isn't really, like, disturbing, though. Like, this is just someone that couldn't find a game. I know the game content itself is kind of disturbing, but that's like Tip of My Joystick. There was this game where zombies would come and try to kill me in rounds, and it's like, oh, that sounds kind of brutal. That sounds awful. And then it's just called zombies. Like, it's a video game. This isn't really disturbing.
Run the farm and keep the town from finding out. According to Sparta213, this was a real game, but he couldn't remember the game's title, so he wanted Reddit to help him find it. Redditors were curious. They searched through every farming game they could find.
Redditors jumped in, postulating that it could potentially be a Flash game, an old farming sim named Scapeland, or even a top-down RPG named Wild Season.
But Sparta213 ruled them all out. Everyone ran out of guesses. Months passed, then years, and the mystery just sat there. But one day, something changed. Other people started remembering the same game. 2 years later, a different user asked a very similar question. He said he was trying to find an old farming game. He described it as a game where you end your wife and then you try and pretend you never ended her. And that was the whole game. Keep farming and make sure no one finds out you killed her. He believed he played it on his computer in 2006. Then he upgraded his PC and the game disappeared. Now he couldn't even remember the title. The details matched Sparta213's
Ghost, dude. This all ties back to Big Chicken. Look at the game. What are they farming? Chickens. Big Chicken doesn't want you to know if this game exists. They tried to have it wiped from the internet. Just like they added a K. They tried to have that wiped from the internet. But I'm connecting the dots right here, right now. Big Chicken, they're not going to hold us down. They can't control us anymore. Because I just put it all together. I put it all together.
Story exactly. Again, Reddit tried to find it. They guessed every farming game they could think of. And again, every guess was wrong.
Gleaner Heights? Moirai? Lakeview Cabin? Unfortunately, at least according to the OP, none of these are it.
Days later, another user claimed they remember playing the farming game too. Then another and another. Over the next few months, dozens remembered playing the same game. They remember the farm, the crime, hiding the secret. But for some bizarre reason, none of them could remember the title. By now, Redditors were convinced the game was real. There were too many matching memories, but no one could find a single copy. What began as a normal search was now a full investigation. Users created
It is so weird that there is no archive of this game, this evil farming game. I wonder if there's something that they had to like illegally download or like a torrent game or something. Because it seems popular enough where people have seen it, but if it was on like surface web stuff, I feel like there'd be some sort of record of it existing somewhere. I don't know. I don't know enough. I don't have enough knowledge.
a new subreddit. They called it That Evil Farming Game. Its mission was simple: identify the game and prove it was real. Users listed every tiny detail anyone remembered. They checked old game websites. They searched Twitter, Discord, and every platform they could. They contacted indie developers.
I mean, unless it was just something that was posted as like a one-off, and like 1,000 people played it, and 5 out of those 1,000 remembered something about it, and it's just buried now. Like, I mean, imagine how much stuff from the internet was posted in like the 2000s to like 2010s that we just kept no record of because it was all miscellaneous blog posts and websites and stuff. That's crazy to think about, like what stuff you can find in there. It's kind of like how the majority of the Amazon hasn't even like nobody's ever even stepped foot there. What do you like? There's so much stuff that could be on the internet that we just don't even have no clue about.
Some even searched the dark web. The mystery consumed them. One user spent 14 hours a day chasing leads, but no matter how hard they looked, the game never.
Alright, dude. 14 hours every day searching for it. You can hang it up, man. This guy's trying to be performative for his Reddit buddies. Bro, I swear. Bro, I spent 14 hours every day searching for it, bro. Dude, 30 minutes, man. 30 minutes a day. You did not spend 14 hours every day searching. Where are you even searching for it? What are you doing? You searched up farming game and you just clicked on the next page on Google for 14 hours. You didn't do that. You didn't. That didn't happen. You're lying. You wanted to sound cool to Reddit, bro. I spent 14 hours every day searching for it, bro. Bro, I'm so locked in, bro. You don't understand, dude. Dude, I'm a marauder, dude. I'm a killer, man. 14 hours. 14 hours. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care, dude. All I care about is finding this game, bro. This game's my life, bro. This game's my life. Stop lying. You did not search 14 hours for this game every single day.
Showed up. Just when everyone was about to give up, someone found a shocking clue, and the entire mystery unraveled. In June 2021, a user named PM Me Your Ears found an old live stream. The video was recorded long before the mystery game was ever mentioned on Reddit. This was an important piece of information. In the stream, the host jokingly made up a game.
Midway in the game, you have an argument with your wife, and you accidentally kill her. You gotta manage your farm, you know, raise your chickens and milk the cows. You also gotta hide the body from the cops sometimes.
The details were identical to the missing farm game. PM Me Your Ears thought the live stream had to be connected, so he shared it with Sparta213 and asked if he knew the streamer. Remember, Sparta213 was the first to mention the farming game on Reddit. Sparta took one look and knew right away. He used to fall asleep watching that exact streamer years ago. And the truth about the game was finally clear. Sparta imagined the entire game.
It was just a dream. That's the worst ending ever. This sucks. On to the next story, bro. This is the top 10 worst endings ever. I thought it was gonna be a real game.
Is what happened. One night in 2016, he watched that live stream. The streamer joked about making a game about a farmer who tries to get away with ending his wife. It was just a joke. Sparta eventually fell asleep. The next morning, he kept thinking about a farming game with a murder plot, except he believed it was a real game that he used to play. His mind took the streamer's joke and treated it like a real memory. So he asked Reddit to help him find the game. And for the next 5 years, thousands scrambled to find a game that did not exist. And just like that, the mystery was solved. But one question remained. If the game didn't exist, why did so many other people remember the same fake game? The answer was the Mandela effect. It happens when people collectively misremember events. In other words, people
What did I say? I mean, it's alright, you know. Not everyone can be as ahead of the curve as I am. Guess I'm just smarter than you guys, you know? I just noticed earlier. It all comes back to Big Chicken. Mandela effect, Big Chicken, Big Pharma. They don't want you to know. But I knew. I'm not suicidal. I just knew. Something happens to me. You know why. We uncovered it. Chick-fil-A was behind the whole thing. Big Chicken. They tried to claim it's Mandela effect. That's made up. That's not real. Chick-fil-A brought us to an alternate universe, and they created a new name for themselves, but they couldn't match everything up perfectly. Thus the Mandela effect. It's alright, man. I'm just an OG noticer. It's okay. It's okay. When I liked it, when you liked it. Wrong way around. I'm the one that kind of started the trend, you know. I don't want to sound like it's kind of going in my head, but it's not, I mean, it's not going in my head. I deserve to be kind of put up on a pedestal for this, you know. It's impressive what I did. It's not arrogance. It's just like what I did, most people can't do. They're just not as cool, as smart as me, as intelligent, like whatever it is. Chick-fil-A is a portal to another realm. And it's all connected.
Saw others remembering the game, and they started imagining themselves playing it too. With the mystery finally solved, the subreddit was abandoned. Today, the mystery is remembered as one of the biggest accidental hoaxes in internet history. For 5 years, that fake game spread across the internet. And even after the truth came out, it's still out there. That's how the internet works. Once something's online, it never really...
Could you imagine the perspective of that streamer? If he hears about this, you said an offbeat joke one time and created subreddits and forums dedicated to searching for what you said. It's kind of sick, dude.
Goes away. Your personal information works the same way. A few years back, someone found my old personal details online and used them to threaten me. I tried to delete these bathrooms and my
Oh, I went too far. I'll edit that one out. Let's go back. Yeah, I'm gonna edit that one out.
VV for a 14-day line. Imagine waking up one day of the Burger King man.
Oh, perfect skip. Let's go.
On August 31st, 2004, a man woke up outside a Burger King in Georgia. He was lying on the ground next to a dumpster. He didn't know how he got there, but that was only the beginning of his problems. He had no ID and no money. He was covered in painful blisters.
Though it was still morning, his skin was already sunburned and blistered. His body was covered in fire ants.
But the worst part was his mind. He couldn't remember anything about his life.
I have no idea how I got there. I don't remember anything about it. I had no memory of my name, my parents, relatives.
Burger King employees found him and called 911. Paramedics rushed him to the hospital. Doctors diagnosed him with memory loss brought about by trauma. They had no idea what caused it.
According to reports, there was no evidence of recent physical trauma to the body or to his skull.
He looked like a healthy man in his middle 50s. When he left the hospital, he had nowhere to go. So he moved into a homeless shelter. He decided to choose a name for himself, Benjamin Kyle. Benjamin spelled with 2 A's. Then he began searching for his real identity. Benjamin first went to the police.
Trying to be different, dude. This guy's just trying to be different, man. No, I feel bad for him. That sucks. I don't know how that could have happened. You know. Well, I guess we'll never know.
Police. They ran his fingerprints, but nothing came up.
I'm sure this video doesn't contain any answers. Maybe discovered by Reddit or something. I'm sure that that's not a part of this.
They cannot find my fingerprints anywhere in any database.
He turned to TV stations. Reporters told his story and showed his face. They hoped someone would recognize him. No one did.
Maybe his family never looked for him or wasn't looking for him and just felt terrible.
Holy quality.
For years, Benjamin searched. He visited.
Gosh, I thought it was me, man. Okay, least obvious clip farm. Oh, this is full of water. Whatever. Least obvious clip farm. What do the cops even do, bro? What do the cops even do, bro? I don't want to spill it. I'll edit that out. Hold on. What do the cops even do, bro? What do the cops even do, bro? I'm all wet now. Why would I do that, dude? I'm soaking wet. Oh my gosh. Oh, dude, I'm actually sopping wet. I don't know why I. Okay, I'll edit that out.
Visited schools and checked old yearbooks. He looked through government records. There was no record of his existence.
And I smell weird too, because this is a LaCroix Raz Cranberry. And it's been sitting on my desk for months. Dude, this sucks.
It was like he was Ghost.
For all practical intents and purposes, I don't exist.
Benjamin became the first U.S. citizen to be listed as missing, despite his whereabouts being known.
Life only got harder.
Without an ID or social security number, there's no option to get a job, there's no option to gain government benefits, and really there's no options for Benjamin to improve his quality of life.
By 2012, Benjamin had...
Bro, I just don't trust Benjamin, dude. I feel like, sorry, my hands are wet still from the LaCroix I poured all over myself like a minute ago. I'm still wet. Just a little update. I'm still sopping wet. Benjamin was LARPing, bro. But this is not real. Benjamin, I think, is doing this for profit. I don't think he's a real ghost. I think he knows who he is.
Been searching for 8 years. He had no money, no job, and no idea who he was. Journalists even picked up the story. Benjamin's face and
then he low-key takes off the mask and goes back to his desk job. I don't think this is real, dude. There's no way that this could actually happen to someone.
Story spread everywhere.
Newspaper headlines to talk show appearances, even a documentary.
Look, he's doing a TV show. No, this is fake. He's doing this for money. It's all fake. Guess where he works.
Benjamin's story sparked a media frenzy, and still nobody knows who he is.
Just when he was about to give up, a friend gave him one more idea. Ask for help on Reddit. In late 2012, Benjamin posted his story on Reddit. He wrote, "I am Benjamin Kyle, an amnesiac who woke up with no memories in 2004. Nobody knows who I am. Ask me anything." Thousands saw his post, and it was flooded with comments. Reddit users asked about his life. Others asked what fragments he remembered. Many sent kind messages and
Okay, hopefully my mic sounds a little louder. I just edited it. Edited it. I hope it's not incredibly annoyingly loud now.
encouragement. Within hours,
I'm not gonna check though. We'll just hope that it goes well.
Benjamin's post reached Reddit's front page, and that Reddit post reached a woman named CeCe Moore. CeCe was an expert in DNA and genetics, and she believed she could use Benjamin's DNA to identify his family. She contacted him and offered help. He agreed. CeCe collected his DNA sample. Then she got to work. She ran his DNA through family history databases across the country. She worked for years, until finally she found a connection. In 2015, CeCe found a DNA match in Indiana. It was the breakthrough everyone hoped for. Benjamin traveled to to Indiana. There, he finally found what he's been searching for.
Finally, Benjamin Kyle had an identity, he had a hometown, and he had 2 remaining brothers from his family where he grew up.
Benjamin's real name was William Burgess Powell. He was born and raised in Indiana. In 1976, he left home for a new job. That's when he vanished. His family reported him missing, but he was never found. For nearly 30 years, he was gone without a trace, until the day he woke up outside that Burger King in 2004. The discovery created new questions. Where did he go after 1976? Why was he missing for so long? How did he end up unconscious?
Dude, my take, some sort of weird government agency, like he joined the CIA or something and he knew too much, they just had to erase all his memories. Because, dude, he had no blunt force trauma, but he had amnesia, and he disappeared for 30 years and nobody knows what happened to him. He disappeared as a young man. He definitely joined the military and then got shot up into some program, or he just directly got recruited by a program. That, dude, that is the only theory that makes any sense. He was gone for 30 years and then woke up with no memories. He has to have joined some weird government CIA, something like that, or been like experimented on, and they couldn't have him remembering stuff that he knew. They just got rid of his memories and threw him outside of a Burger King, I guess.
In Georgia. What happened that erased his memories? No one knows the answers.
Like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but this is like a very obvious answer, right? I mean, I sound crazy, but this makes sense. This is the only thing that makes sense.
Not even Benjamin.
So, you really are a man without any answers. Very few.
Yes.
But one thing finally changed. Benjamin found his family. He finally belonged somewhere again. In late 2015, he moved in with his family in Indiana. He recovered his social security details and got a job. He started rebuilding a normal life. As of 2025, Benjamin is still searching for the missing pieces of his story. But because of the attention he got from that Reddit post, he is no longer.
Don't search too hard. End up in a ditch somewhere. I hope he doesn't find out what happened to him.
Alone. This next chapter has everything: secret agents, parallel universes, and government cover-ups. The mysterious man from another universe. The mystery of the man from Torrid begins with a strange event in a very ordinary place, an airport. In October 1954, a man arrived at the Tokyo airport. When immigration officials checked his passport, they noticed something unusual. The passport said he was from a country called Torrid. Except Torrid did not exist. At least the officers never heard of that country. But the traveler insisted Torrid was real. To prove it, he showed them money from his country.
He also presented currency, banknotes issued by his homeland, which did not look in any way counterfeit.
Immigration officers still didn't believe him, so they gave him a chance to prove it.
They then placed a map of the world on the table in front of him and asked him to pinpoint the exact location of his country.
The man pointed to a region between France and Spain, but he was pointing at a country called Andorra, not Torrid. The man looked confused. He claimed the map was wrong. He insisted that Torrid should be right where Andorra was. No one knew what to think, so the immigration officers called the police. The man was detained. Police searched his documents and questioned him. Then the story goes dark.
Bro, LAI, and also, why is it making him look like Kevin Spacey, dude?
This was way back in 1954. Record keeping wasn't great. The man's trail just
This guy's a predator.
Allegations alone
disappeared from history, and that's when the real mystery begins. Newspapers nicknamed him the Mystery Man from Torrid. Conspiracy theorists loved the story. They tried to guess who he was. Some said he was a spy. Others believed something more extreme.
The theory that's most popular is that the man from Torrid was actually from an alternative universe. Somehow, during his flight, he crossed over into this one.
Decades passed. The story changed each time it was retold. Facts were twisted. Rumors turned into evidence. Eventually, no one knew which part of the story was real. Then, around 2014, the story exploded again, this time on Reddit. Reddit users wanted to solve the mystery. Who was this man from Torrid? And where did he actually come from? But finding the truth wasn't easy. The biggest challenge was that no one had the original source of the story from 1954. Only the exaggerated versions existed. Redditors dug through archives searching for reports from the 1950s 1950s, but they found nothing. Then a Redditor from Japan made a breakthrough. In 2020, he visited a public library in Tokyo. If the original story still existed anywhere, it would be there. He checked Japanese newspapers from the 1950s. Then he found something. He discovered a news article from 1959. It matched the Torrid story, except the truth was very different. According to the newspaper, the mystery man was named John Allen Zegras. But John wasn't from Torrid. He was from the United States. John was actually a con man. He traveled the world scamming people and running before he got caught. To protect his true identity, he used a fake passport from a fake country.
So, just gonna pretend like I didn't see that it says that he commits suicide later in the story. I'll just pretend like that wasn't there. This is kind of like Frank Abagnale from Catch Me If You Can. It's interesting.
Surprisingly, it worked. He used that fake passport many times without being caught, until he arrived in Japan in 1954. Immigration officials spotted the fake passport. They alerted police. John was arrested. He was found guilty for fraud and violation of immigration laws.
He was sentenced to a year in prison, and that's how the legend of the man from Torrid got started.
Local newspapers reported the case accurately. The news outlets outside Japan messed up the story. They exaggerated the details. Each version became more dramatic. Soon, the story was no longer about a scammer, but a man from another universe. But the mystery was finally solved. The man from Torrid was nothing more than a scam artist who finally ran out of luck. Up next is the most tragic story on our list: the hit and run mystery. Al Rainwater and his wife Susan were married for 30 wonderful years. They were so close that they still held hands when they walked. But on August 9th, 2018, their picture-perfect life was destroyed. That morning, 66-year-old Susan left home for her daily bike ride. She told Al she would be back in 30 minutes. She never returned. Al went out to look for her. He found her bicycle tossed on the side of the road. The frame was twisted, the wheels were crushed. It looked like a crash, but Susan wasn't there.
Oh, I've seen this one before. No, I know this one. This one's sad.
He found her a few yards away in a ditch. She wasn't moving. Susan was gone. Heartbroken, Al called 911. Troopers arrived and began to investigate. It didn't take long for them to understand the situation. Someone hit Susan with a vehicle and drove away.
A grandmother was out bicycling in Eatonville and she was hit by a vehicle, dumped in a ditch.
The police was determined to find that driver and bring him to justice. But from the start, the case felt impossible. There were no cameras at the scene. There were also no witnesses. It felt like the driver vanished without a trace. Then officers spotted a single clue. They found a tiny piece of plastic at the scene. Police believed it snapped off the vehicle during the crash. The piece was tiny. They couldn't tell what part of the car it came from. Without that answer, the case would go cold. The only way to find the hit-and-run driver was to identify that broken piece of plastic. So investigators tried something new. That evening, an officer posted a photo of the plastic piece online. He tweeted, "Troopers and detectives are still looking for a black vehicle involved in a tragic bicyclist fatality. If you know anything regarding this collision, please call the Washington State Patrol." No one on Twitter recognized it. The police were losing hope. And that's when Reddit came to the rescue. A Reddit user posted the picture to a group called What Is This Thing? It's a community where people help each other identify weird or unknown objects. He told them the full story when he posted it. If they couldn't solve it, Susan would never get justice. The whole group was ready to help. Replies started pouring in.
Somebody picked it up and put it on Reddit, and that's when about 600 car enthusiasts and mechanics started to look at those pieces of vehicle and say what they think it might have been.
One person guessed it came from a car window. Another suggested the front bumper. Dozens of theories appeared, but none of them were reliable. Then a user named Greg's Candy shared a new idea. He said the piece came from a car's headlight. Lots of people agreed, but they still needed more details. Even if it was from a headlamp, they had to figure out the exact car model. The case hit another wall until a user showed up. This Reddit user, Jeff, worked as a vehicle inspector in Maryland. That meant he examined thousands of cars. The moment he saw the plastic piece, he knew what it was. He said it belonged to the headlamp of a 1988 Chevy Silverado. Reddit users checked product photos online. It was an exact match. Everyone upvoted the answer to the top of the thread. Reddit identified the make and model of the car. They also knew that the broken plastic came from the headlamp. Now they needed to find the specific vehicle. If they found the vehicle, they would find the driver. And only a few hours later, they did.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is base.
A Reddit user spotted a 1980s Chevrolet truck with a broken headlight. The shape of the damage matched the plastic piece found at the scene. They called the sheriff immediately.
After that, officers got an anonymous tip describing damage on, get this, a 1986 Chevrolet K10 pickup truck.
Police rushed to the location. The truck belonged to 37-year-old Jeremy Simon. When officers questioned him, he confessed. On the morning of the crash, he was driving under the influence. He fell asleep at the wheel. He woke up only after slamming into Susan. When he looked back, he saw a bicycle. He panicked and fled. Jeremy pleaded guilty to all charges. He was sentenced to 4.5 years in prison. When the case closed, the police publicly thanked the online community for their help. Without Reddit, Susan Rainwater might never have received the justice she deserved. In this next chapter, Redditors joined forces to track down a dangerous criminal. The mystery of the Dutch crime scene. The story gets dark really fast. In April 2013, a guy in the Netherlands was exploring Google Earth. He was zooming around his neighborhood when he saw what looked like a crime scene.
It's right here. I'm gonna get really close up into it.
It looked like someone was dumping a body in the river.
This is unreal. I can't believe that satellite images actually caught this image of these.
On a dock near the water, a long red trail stretched across the wood. At the end of the trail lay a shape that looked like a body. Next to it stood a person. He took a screenshot of the scene and sent it to the police, but the police didn't respond. No officers came to check the dock. No investigation began. The police obviously weren't taking him seriously, so he decided to ask Reddit for help. He posted the image with the title, "A Murder Near My House," on Google Maps. He also shared a link to the location. Redditors opened the link. Most of them saw the same frightening picture: a red trail, a body-shaped figure, and a person standing right beside it. People began sharing theories in the comments. One said it was an animal left after a hunt. That would explain the red trail. Another user measured the length of the shape.
Let's be real. That's not an animal. That looks like a body, dude.
On the dock. It was a little over 5 feet long. That was much closer to a human body. Others studied the standing figure. To some, it looked like two people, not one.
You can easily see that there are at least 3 subjects here in this crime, 2 of them being the actual murders. Now,
hours passed.
Yeah, dude, thanks for editing the footage to make it the hardest possible thing to make out what's going on. Yeah, let me grayscale it and then invert it. You want to be able to watch this in 4K? The best we could do is grayscale and invert it.
Crime, 2 of them being the actual.
When a user named BennyBoy1337 took a closer look, and he noticed something everyone missed. To Benny Boy, the shapes didn't look human at all. They looked like a dog and its owner on the dock. He explained it this way: looks like a dog got out of the water and shook itself dry, then walked off the dock while dripping water. That's why the wet wood looks so much darker in color.
That's not an animal. That looks like a body, dude.
Redditors read that and checked the image again. Suddenly, the entire photo looked completely different.
The shot is actually of a dog that was wet and simply shook itself off at the end of the dock, causing the redwood to look like bloodstains.
Someone even made a sketch to help others see it clearly. Still, some didn't believe it, so reporters went to the dock in person. They asked around and found the dog's owner. She explained what was really going on in the photo. Her dog loved jumping in and out of the lake. It must have run onto the dock while still wet right when Google Earth took that photo. That blood trail was just water dripping off the dog. The sunlight created shadows that made the dog look much bigger, and those same shadows made the owner look like more than one person. Local police later confirmed why they never responded. Turns out they already knew about the Google Earth image, and they already confirmed that it wasn't a crime scene. The mystery was solved. That case is now remembered as the Dutch.
I mean, could have just, responded and told them you already know what happened. Now you've just sparked this whole thing. You could have just been like, yeah, we know it's a dog. Instead of just not responding and causing all of this public panic that somebody was brutally murdered on this dock.
Crime scene, even though nothing criminal happened at all. This next story is about a man who didn't feel safe in his own home, so he asked Reddit for help. The mystery of the evil landlord. On April 15th, 2015, a Reddit user named RBradbury1920 was panicking. That day, Bradbury noticed something strange on his desk. It was a post-it note with a list of chores.
And I've already seen this one too. Bro, this one wasn't even disturbing. We're skipping it.
Okay, great. Wait, were you even listening? You haven't taken a single note this entire.
About 20
YouTubers trying not to copy the same Reddit stories in their video challenge. Level impossible.
years to solve. On June 26, 1995, someone reported a car crash in southeastern Virginia. Police arrived and found 2 victims. One was identified as 21-year-old Michael Hager, but the second was so badly injured that he couldn't be identified. Unfortunately, he had no ID, so police had no way to know who he was. But investigators did find one clue. Inside his pocket, they discovered tickets to a Grateful Dead concert. Grateful Dead was a popular rock band in the 90s. With no other information, police labeled the unknown victim as John Doe, which is the name used for unidentified people. For nearly 20 years, no one knew who he was. And then Redditors got involved. Around 2014, a woman named Layla Betts began investigating this story. She read police files and spoke with officers involved, but she found nothing new, so she turned to Reddit. Layla created a subreddit called Grateful Doe. Grateful Doe because the unidentified man had Grateful Dead concert tickets and no one knew him.
I am now realizing the reason I've heard half of these stories is because I've watched this video before. I watched Joe Bart react to this.